Welcome to the SAMPS podcast, bringing you advice and insights from sales and marketing professionals in life science.
Hello everyone, this is Harrison Wright with SAMPS, that is, serving sales and marketing professionals in scientific research. I'm here also with David Weber, who is Vice President and Chief Commercial Officer with Maravai Life Sciences. And on the 18th of June, SAMPS will be holding a conference in Gothenburg in Sweden. And at that conference, David will be presenting a talk entitled Punching Above Your Weight with Marketing. David, there's a bunch of threads we could pick up on here, but one thing I wanted to start with is to point out you hold a pretty unique position at Maravai in that you oversee marketing and sales for a group of SMEs rather than one unified or monolithic brand. I imagine that gives you a pretty unique perspective.
Yeah, thanks, Harrison. I think it does. It's something I hadn't done before. Typically, I had been affiliated with essentially one company and one broad brand with a number of product brands. Here at Maravai Life Sciences, we're a private equity-backed firm, and essentially we were tasked with going out and finding interesting life science companies, typically founder-led companies, that had taken their business, the founders had taken their business to the, maximum level that they could, and they were looking for ways to accelerate the growth of their business. We acquire companies, and hopefully we put them together such that ultimately 1 + 1 = 3. Thus far, we've acquired 4 companies, and as you said, it is a little unique because each of these companies is very, very different. 3 of the 4 companies are in different markets. One's in protein detection and labeling, one is in the bioprocessing field, and 2 of them are in the oligonucleotide synthesis field. So the market dynamics and the competitive landscape, et cetera, in each of those spaces is quite different. Furthermore, each of the companies we acquired have been in the business for typically 20 or 30 years. So they have quite an established brand, and each of those brands have different characteristics, of course, but the one thing they share in common is the brands are deep and there's considerable customer loyalty to each of those brands. So, my job is to think about, do we integrate those brands? Do we keep them separate? How do we maintain the company culture and the perception of the companies in the marketplace? So I'll be talking a little bit about that in Gothenburg. And lastly, each of these companies has sort of a different commercial infrastructure. Some are very, very immature. Some are more mature. All of them, at least the ones I've experienced thus far, have not been operating in the 21st century. So part of what my role is to lead a team that's striving to bring those companies into the 21st century from the standpoint of sales and marketing. And that involves a number of different facets, from implementing unified systems like Salesforce.com, for example, putting in place unified processes that are scalable to any other company we might acquire. So it's been an interesting experience, and one I look forward to sharing in a bit more detail in Gothenburg.
Definitely. I'm certainly looking forward to hearing about that. So what I'm wondering, just to play devil's advocate, is you see some companies make acquisitions like Thermo Fisher or Danaher would be great examples, actually, where they, to one degree or another, they bring everything into the umbrella brand. But if the brands and the sales and marketing and commercial teams more generally always remain separate, what is the benefit from bringing the companies together?
Yeah, good question. And obviously, who can argue with the Thermo Fisher and Danaher formulae? Those are two very, very successful companies. But we've chosen a little different path. Thus far, the 4 companies that we've acquired, we've kept the brands intact and distinct. But what we do is a number of things. Number one, we inject capital into the business to allow some of the growth potential to blossom. Number two, we inject management expertise into the business. And my colleagues in Maravai Life Sciences all have extensive backgrounds in the life science reagents and diagnostic industries. Thirdly, as I said a moment ago, we apply common systems into the businesses, from ERP systems to CRM systems to marketing automation systems. And then lastly, we apply a common set of financial targets, or metrics, I should say, that and business metrics that we're all striving for. So the brands remain intact. The culture of the company remains relatively intact with a Maravai Life Sciences overlay. But what we inject into the businesses allows them to sort of come out of a shell and flourish and realize their growth potential. The businesses that we've acquired thus far, interestingly, before we acquired them, those businesses were collectively growing 8%. After the acquisition, and let's say 2 years in now, if we look at those businesses operating under the Maravai Life Sciences umbrella, those same businesses are growing at a rate of 21%. So, Thermo Fisher and Danaher have a very successful formula. We feel we do as well. And obviously there are, different ways to slice up a piece of fruit, and that's the approach we're taking.
Some really impressive results, actually. So if I was to summarize it, for you it's about unifying the infrastructure, the systems of the companies, and capitalizing on the efficiencies of scale, but also maintaining the unique brand and market approach of each individual unit.
Yeah, I think that's a good summary. In addition to systems, we have sort of common commercial ways of working, and common processes, commercial processes across the different organizations. So systems are one part of it, but how we operate in the field, how we talk to customers, the thought leadership we're trying to portray in many of the businesses that we have. So there's a lot of commercial focus, more than just systems and process.
That makes total sense. So I guess we've only got a fairly short period of time on this podcast, but I'd have to make my last question. What could somebody who doesn't work for a private equity-backed firm learn from your talk?
During this talk, I think I'm going to do a little bit of education about private equity, and it often gets a bad rap out in the marketplace. So I'm going to try to clarify that a bit. I'm also going to demonstrate or utilize Maravai Life Sciences as a different approach to an acquisition-focused business, and how you can, in fact, drive a business yet retain company culture and brand uniqueness and loyalty. So I think I'll be able to demonstrate a little different approach to the business, and hopefully get people thinking about what they might do if they were in an entrepreneurial mode and needed to either sell their company or buy a company or a group of companies, and maybe give people a little different insight onto the model that we've used and get people to think a little bit differently.
David, fantastic. Sounds like there's a huge amount to learn, and the kind of thing that people couldn't readily learn elsewhere. I'm looking forward to it.
I hope your comments ring true, and I'm glad you're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to being a speaker at the SAMPS event.
Fantastic. And for everyone listening, we hope you're intrigued to listen to David's talk as well. If you'd like to come to the conference on the 18th of June, you can register online at sampssoc.org, which is SAM for mother, PSSOC. So sampssoc.org. We look forward to seeing you there. Thanks.
To get more from SAMPS, visit www.sampssoc.org.